A 4-ounce block of pure beeswax costs $3 at any farm supply store in America. A pint of pure gum turpentine costs $8 at the same counter. Combined, melted together in a small tin over low heat, they produce enough waterproofing wax to treat 4 heavy canvas coats, or 12 pairs of work boots, or a full canvas wall tent, or every cotton work shirt a man owns. The cost per garment is under $1. The treatment lasts between 3 and 5 years. When it begins to wear, you reapply the same coat, the same wax, for 30 years, for 40. Water rolls off treated canvas in beads. It does not soak, it does not seep, it does not penetrate. The fibers swell with the wax and seal themselves at the molecular level. The garment breathes. It does not trap sweat against the skin. It does not rip at the shoulders after one season. It does not delaminate. It does not crack at the seams. Before 1950, every farmer, every railroad worker, every fisherman, every soldier, and every dock laborer in America wore exactly this. They treated their own coats at home, on a Sunday afternoon, in a kitchen, with wax, turpentine, and a flat iron. The formula had been working since the British Royal Navy began oiling canvas sails in the 1700s. It still works tonight. The American outdoor apparel industry generates over $20 billion a year in the United States alone. The technical rainwear segment, the waterproof shell jackets sold by Patagonia, the North Face, Arc'teryx, Columbia, and Gore-Tex, brings in over $4 billion of that. A single hardshell jacket retails for between $300 and $750. A premium model from Arc'teryx can exceed $800 at the register. The waterproof membrane inside that jacket has a finite life. Industry literature acknowledges that polyurethane and expanded polytetrafluoroethylene laminates begin to delaminate within 2 to 3 years of regular wear. After 5 to 7 years, the membrane is functionally dead. The jacket leaks. It cannot be repaired at home. It cannot be retreated. The only option is to throw it away and buy another one. The average outdoor enthusiast in America owns between 2 and 4 shell jackets at any given time. They replace them on a 3 to 5 year cycle. Over a 30-year adult life, that is between 12 and 20 jackets. At an average cost of $400 apiece, the lifetime spent on waterproof outerwear alone exceeds $8,000 for one person. Not counting waterproof pants, gaiters, gloves, hats, or boots, a waxed canvas barn coat, treated once a year with a homemade beeswax formula, lasts 30 to 50 years. Filson and Carhartt have cataloged waxed canvas garments in continuous use since the 1920s. Some of them have been in the same family for 3 generations. The waxed canvas system has no membrane, no laminate, no proprietary chemical coating, no service warranty, no retail markup, no replacement cycle, no subscription wash-in treatment, no $60 bottle of Nick wax to refresh the coating every 6 months. It has wax. It has turpentine. It has canvas. It sheds water. It always has. The reason you do not already know this is not because the formula stopped working. It is because a $20 billion industry cannot exist if you do. Every dollar you spend on technical rainwear is a dollar extracted from a problem that your great-grandfather solved on his back porch with 2 ingredients and an iron. The entire business model depends on one thing that you never find out what he knew. In 1933, at the deepest point of the Great Depression, the average American working man wore the same heavy canvas coat for 10 to 15 years. He treated it himself every fall with a pot of melted beeswax, paraffin, and turpentine warmed on the wood stove. The coat was a tool. It was maintained the way an axe was maintained, the way a leather harness was maintained, the way a cast iron skillet was maintained. The labor cost was 0. The material cost was a few cents. This was not poverty. This was knowledge. Then came 1969. In a research laboratory in Newark, Delaware, a chemist named Robert Gore stretched a sheet of polytetrafluoroethylene under heat and discovered that the resulting material had microscopic pores, small enough to block liquid water, large enough to allow water vapor to escape. He patented the process. The patent was assigned to the family company, Gore and Associates. The product was branded Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex was not licensed broadly. It was licensed selectively to high-end outdoor brands at a per-garment royalty. The price floor for any garment containing the membrane was set by contract, not by manufacturing cost. A garment that cost $12 to produce was contractually required to retail above $200. The brand markup was protected. The licensing structure was protected. The shelf price was protected. By the late 1970s, an entire generation of outdoor magazines gear catalogs, and ski resorts had been saturated with Gore-Tex marketing. Hiking writers stopped mentioning waxed canvas. Outdoor education programs stopped teaching field maintenance. The Boy Scouts of America revised its handbook in stages between 1972 and 1990. References to oiling and waxing personal gear were removed. Field treatment of canvas was no longer part of the merit badge requirements. The University of Leeds, in the United Kingdom, published a textile performance study in 1981 comparing traditional waxed cotton duck to early polytetrafluoroethylene laminates. The results showed that waxed cotton outperformed the synthetic membrane in abrasion resistance, repair tolerance, and useful service life. It performed slightly worse in breathability. The study was published in a peer-reviewed journal. It was never referenced in a single advertisement, catalog, or retail display by any outdoor brand. Then or since, not banned outright, just never mentioned again in any outdoor magazine published after 1980. Never referenced in any gear guide written for the general consumer. Never included in any side-by-side performance comparison the public was ever allowed to see. The waxed canvas tradition did not die because it failed. It died because a single patent, held by a single family, made it more profitable to sell membranes than to teach maintenance. The industry that grew around that patent did not invent waterproofing. It privatized it. The system has three components: the wax, the solvent, and the application method. Every one of them is available at any farm supply store, hardware store, or beekeeping supplier in America for a combined total of under $15. That $15 treats every canvas, cotton, and leather item in a household for the next decade. Here is exactly how each one works. Component 1. Pure beeswax. Asterisk, a 4-ounce block of pure beeswax costs $3 at any farm supply store, hardware store, or candle-making counter. A 1-pound block costs $10 to $12. The pound block treats roughly 12 garments and lasts the average household 3 to 5 years. Beeswax is a long-chain fatty acid ester secreted by honeybees. At room temperature, it is a hard, slightly tacky solid. At 145 degrees Fahrenheit, it melts into a clear amber liquid. When that liquid is worked into the fibers of woven cotton or canvas, it cools and solidifies inside the weave. The wax does not coat the fabric. It impregnates it. The science is simple. Cotton and canvas are hygroscopic. They absorb water. Beeswax is hydrophobic. It repels water. Once the wax is locked inside the fibers, the cotton can no longer absorb. Water beads on the surface and rolls away. The garment becomes waterproof. The fibers themselves are now waxed, not the surface above them. Beeswax alone, however, is too brittle for canvas. Applied pure, it cracks at the elbows, knees, and shoulder seams within 1 season. It needs a softener. That brings the second component. Component 2. Pure gum turpentine. A pint of pure gum turpentine costs $8 to $10 at any hardware store. A quart costs $15 and lasts the average household several years. Pure gum turpentine is distilled from the resin of southern pine trees. It is the original solvent of the American workshop. It thins paint, it cleans brushes, it dissolves oils, resins, and waxes. When mixed with melted beeswax in the correct ratio, it lowers the melting point of the wax and keeps it pliable at room temperature. The treated garment now flexes without cracking. Do not substitute mineral spirits or paint thinner. Petroleum-based solvents leave residual hydrocarbons inside the fibers and produce a stiff, brittle finish that smells of fuel for months. Pure gum turpentine evaporates cleanly within a week and leaves only the wax behind. The ratio is 2 parts beeswax to 1 part turpentine by volume. For 1 heavy canvas coat, melt 4 ounces of beeswax in a small tin set inside a pot of simmering water, a double boiler. Once the wax is fully liquid, remove the tin from the heat. Let it cool for 2 minutes. Then stir in 2 ounces of pure gum turpentine. Stir until the mixture is uniform. The result is a soft, spreadable paste the consistency of warm petroleum jelly. Important, turpentine is flammable. Never add turpentine to wax that is sitting directly over an open flame. Always remove the wax from the heat first. Stir in the turpentine off the burner. This is how every farm wife in America did it for 2 centuries without incident. Asterisk, component 3. The application. Lay the garment flat on a table. The treatment works on heavy canvas, cotton duck, denim, and tightly woven cotton sailcloth. It does not work on synthetic fabrics. It does not work on loose woven cotton like flannel. The fibers must be tight enough to hold the wax in suspension. Using a clean cotton rag or a stiff bristle brush, scoop a small amount of the warm paste and rub it into the fabric in a circular motion. Work it in firmly. The wax should disappear into the weave, not sit on top of it. Cover every inch of the garment, paying special attention to the shoulders, the upper back, the front yoke, and the cuffs, the points of highest water exposure. Once the entire garment is coated, set a flat iron to its lowest heat setting. No steam. Press the iron over the surface in slow, even passes. The heat melts the wax and drives it deeper into the fibers. The fabric will darken visibly as the wax penetrates. This is correct. The treatment is working. When the entire garment has been ironed once, hang it on a wooden hanger for 48 hours in a warm, dry place. The turpentine will fully evaporate. The wax will set. The smell will dissipate. After 2 days, the coat is ready to wear. The first rain is a test. Water will bead on the surface and roll off in droplets. The shoulders will stay dry under steady rainfall for a full hour. Heavy, continuous downpour will eventually penetrate at the seams, but the body of the garment will continue to shed water for the duration. Reapplication is required every 12 to 24 months, depending on use. A coat worn daily on a working farm needs treatment every fall. A coat worn occasionally for hunting or chores can go 2 or 3 years between applications. The reapplication process is identical to the first treatment. There is no stripping required. The fresh wax bonds to the residual wax already in the fibers and renews the protection. The same formula works on leather. Reduce the turpentine to 1 part to 4 parts beeswax. Apply with a cloth, buff lightly. The leather absorbs the wax and becomes water resistant for the better part of a year. This is the original waterproofing for work boots, saddles, harnesses, and tool sheaths. 3 ingredients, under $15 in materials. Treats every canvas, cotton, and leather item in a household for a decade. The chemistry has not changed since the British Royal Navy began coating canvas sails with this exact formula in 1740. Fatty acid esters still impregnate plant fibers. Pine resin solvent still softens the matrix. The treated cloth still sheds water exactly the way it did 300 years ago. The Gore-Tex jacket on the rack at REI does the same thing, through a patented membrane, with a $400 price tag. Walk into a working ranch outside Sheridan, Wyoming, in 1935. The hired man owns 1 heavy canvas coat. It is 6 years old. It has been re-waxed 6 times. It will last him another 10 years. When the cuffs fray, his wife will mend them with cotton twine and retreat the patch. The coat will outlast the horse he rides. Walk into a fishing dory off the coast of Gloucester, Massachusetts in 1940. Every man on board is wearing oilskins. Heavy canvas trousers and smock treated with linseed oil and beeswax in the loft above the boat shed. The garments cost the men nothing beyond the price of the cloth and the time of an evening. Walk into a logging camp in northern Minnesota in 1928. The men's coats are stiff with use, dark with wax, soft at the elbows from 20 winters of bending into the saw. Every Sunday, they refresh the high wear spots with a tin of homemade compound kept in the cookhouse. This was not regional. It was universal. From the Atlantic fisheries to the Pacific waterfronts, from the cotton fields of Mississippi to the wheat country of the Dakotas, every American working man maintained his own outerwear at home. The skill was passed from father to son, from mother to daughter, in every household, in every state. The British Royal Navy waxed its sails with this exact formula starting in the 1700s. The crews used the leftover wax to treat their own foul weather gear. The Australian stockmen of the 1800s wore Drizabone and Drizabone coats made with the same compound. Some are still in use today. 80 years on the same coat, the waxed canvas tradition is not American. It is not British, it is human. It clothed working civilization for 300 years, and it took 1 patent, in 1 laboratory, in 1 decade, to convince the public it was obsolete. For under $15, 1 block of beeswax, 1 pint of turpentine, and an evening at the kitchen table, you can waterproof every canvas, cotton, and leather garment you own. Starting this weekend. The same formula that clothed the British Navy in 1740 will keep you dry on a hunting stand, a barn lot, or a city sidewalk tomorrow. The complete system, including exact ratios, leather-specific adjustments, and reapplication schedules, is linked in the description below. It covers fabric care, leather care, canvas tents, work boots, and every textile item your great-grandfather would have maintained at home. Tomorrow, this channel will show you the 10 products in your house that did not exist before 1950, and the $0 replacements your great-grandparents used to live without them. Every product in your home once had a $0 version. They buried it. Now you know.